You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 428 for Sunday the 16th of October 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum, Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we today?
We are well, if we are being in the pluralage.
I thought I'd do it proper,
Yeah, I'm doing good, but I gather
Yes.
you're doing extra good.
I am.
Spill the beans, Phipsy.
Spill the beans. I have a countdown, Michelle. Literally, while I'm sat here, I'm going to go to my app, because I've now got an app on my phone, if I can find it.
An app with a countdown?
An app with a countdown. I'm literally pressing the button now.
I wonder what this could mean.
It says loading, and I've got that spinny thing, as it does. It takes forever, doesn't it? Oh, I've got to confirm my sign-in. Just bear with me, people.
This is very exciting. I don't think you get this for Disneyland Paris or Walt Disney World or Disneyland in California. Where could Jane be going?
I don't know, but it's in 300, as we record today, it's in 325 days, 6 hours, 28 minutes and 20 seconds.
Does that countdown counter include a ship?
It's not a boat. Is it a ship?
Boat? I don't know. Is it on water? That's what I'm interested in.
And it's moving. I didn't realise that. You know what? I've looked at this a couple of times because obviously I've downloaded an app. I keep having to check it. I didn't realise it kind of puffs along.
Yeah.
The little boaty thing. Sorry, I'm going to get told off in a minute, aren't I? I appreciate it's a ship because it's a cruise ship. And yes, Jane has got some Disney booked.
Whoop whoop.
I have a cruise booked for September next year. So it's a little way off. But it is Disney and it is booked, and it's the first Disney thing I've had booked since the summer of 2019. So I'm quite jolly at the moment.
I bet you are. Come on then, spill the beans. What cruise did you decide to book?
Well, this all came about, I think, a little bit. You had a little hand in it, Michelle, but you maybe wouldn't realise it.
Me? Never.
Mm-hmm. And one of Simon's work colleagues who'd been on a cruise over the summer. And he'd come back and shared photos, and we were both like, "Oh, that looks really interesting." And then listening to you talk about your vacation to Disney World and the Disney Cruise Line, and the comparison between the two at the moment, and I'm sure we will kind of come on to some of this maybe a little bit as we talk news and things as we go on in this week's podcast, and hearing your praise for the Disney Cruise Line. So it was a case of, I said, Sam, well, we could combine what your friend has done this year and combine it with a Disney cruise, because 2023, the itineraries that were there included ones that were sailing out of Southampton in the UK. I had a quick look to see what there was, and we have booked a 7-night Northern Europe and Norwegian fjords cruise departing from Southampton in the beginning of September 2023.
And what is the name of the ship you will be on?
I'll be on the Dream.
Life can be a dream.
It can be a dream, because the Dream is doing, I think it's doing all the UK dates next summer, because there's quite a few dates, which I believe you may have a date as well, Michelle.
I do.
Going through the summer and into September. So it's a 7-night cruise, and we have the delights of stopping at Amsterdam. We then have a day at sea, then we go over to Copenhagen. Then we have Oslo. We have one I can't pronounce, Stavanger in Norway. Apologies for my appalling pronunciation. We have a day back at sea, and then we land back home in jolly old England. It's going to be something completely new for Simon and I. This is our first ever cruise. I feel we may be spoiling. I think we may be starting at the wrong point cruising. I don't know. I think we kind of might be peaking. Maybe we should have built up to this. I'm not really sure. But it kind of satisfies a need to get away. It satisfies doing something different. And it satisfies, of course, I can get my little fix of, or big fix of Disney.
And the beauty of it is, Jim, because the departure is from the UK, you don't have to pay any airfare to get over to the States. So it does make it a very reasonable option for us in the UK, having the dream on our doorstep, a mere 6 hours drive away.
It does, and for us actually it's quite handy because Southampton is not too far from where Molly lives now. So it's only about a 45-minute journey from her house. So it does mean that we can combine a little chance to go and see moles, and then we have the cruise, and we'll probably see moles when we come back as well. So it's quite nice. We kind of, we know that area of the UK a little bit as well. So that's a double win for us. And you're right. I mean, it's, if you look on the Disney Cruise website, there are still different ones available coming out of Southampton that go all the way from going around the UK to Spain to France. There's this Northern European one. There's another Fields one, I think, as well. And there's a transatlantic as well, out to New York. Obviously, you've got to get your flight back for that one.
True, but be flying back from New York. How amazing is that?
Yeah, and I was quite intrigued by the route that cruise takes. It wasn't where I thought it was going to be, because it kind of goes south, goes to Portugal and then across and up. So it's not what I thought it would be. But yeah, so I think it's worth taking a look, as you say, for those of us that are in the UK, and with prices being what they are for just vacations in general at the moment, and for airfares in particular, because we know they're not cheap. It's another way of doing it, isn't it? Getting that Disney fix.
Absolutely.
Just factor in as well that Disneyland Paris has become a little bit more awkward to get to because of next June time, the direct Eurostar no longer happens. So, and just another little bit of awkwardness that has gotten in our way. So maybe a cruise may be that ideal alternative for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I suggest the first thing you do is go to Facebook and look for the Disney Cruise for your dates, and find the Facebook group and start communicating with people, because you'll make friends before you even get on board. Yeah,
I must admit, I know it's like it's just under a year out, but I think I spent a rather long amount of time yesterday on the interwebs looking at things. I'm thinking this is probably a little bit too early to be doing this, but I'm a little bit excited because it's been a while. So I'm allowed to be a little bit excited, aren't I?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100% lovely, because we grab our Disney when we can grab it.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And talking of Disney, I'm going to be grabbing some.
Mm.
Well, kind of in a bizarre sort of way. I've been getting a little bit of help from our lovely friend Marla Chan, who's been giving me lots of resort details, because just prior to Christmas, I fly home Christmas Eve, I'm going to go to Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
And I can't believe it, Janie. It's nearly 20 years since I've last been. In fact, it probably is.
Wow.
So
12 years for me, so yeah.
I'm so excited because it's definitely changed. So many new eateries, resort, hotels, etc. Obviously there's the classics, but I think we've got a pretty good deal. It's the week before Christmas. I've been able to negotiate a couple of days off work so I can leave a little bit earlier than I normally would have been able to, but that's payback for the 2 days I did on the weekend residential.
Absolutely.
And my tenuous Disney link is there's a Disney outlet there.
Oh, will you be going, Michelle?
Yeah.
Will you be sending me photos real time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right then. That's fine. I'll let you go now.
There's a Hershey star, which is like 1 billion stars high, and an M&M star.
I remember going to the M&M store when we were there 12 years ago.
It makes our UK M&M store look pathetic.
A bit pants, really, yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got that sorted. You've got your cruise sorted. It's all looking like we've got some exciting travel plans ahead of us. So, guys, we'd love to know what you've got packed and picked for your upcoming vacation. It may include a tenuous link like mine, but it may also include a real-life visit to the theme parks.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to be my next thing, is when can I get to a theme park? But yeah, that may take some while because of just logistics and prices.
Yeah, and while we're talking of prices, Jane,
you see what I did there,
I
Michelle?
know, it's a very good link, lovely.
Thank you, thank you.
The price of the refillable resort mugs has now gone up $2.
Yeah, a bit of a jump that, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, sort of looking at a 10% rise. Again, if you're going for longer than 4 days, you can easily break even on it and get into the credit. But if you're only going for a couple of day trip, it's no longer going to be really your value thing to get, unless you look at it as a souvenir. But I don't really use them when I get home. They just sit in the back of the cupboard and get dusty.
Well, I must admit, I've got a couple of 3 that go back to some very old trips to Disney World, and I do have them. And to be fair, the kids kind of use them. I don't know why. And Molly did insist on taking ones away when she moved out. She did have to take one with her. She's a sentimental old fool like a mother. And I agree with you, Michelle. I think if you're going to go for a couple of 3 days, it's not worth the money. And if you've got $20 to spare, I'm sure there's much better souvenirs you could spare that $20 on. But I think for us UK visitors and European visitors who are going usually for 1, 2, or maybe even 3 weeks, I think 20 odd bucks is a good outlay against how much you could be drinking in them.
And my tenuous link back to your cruises, you might want to consider taking one with you, Jane, because that way you can fill up your little beverage cup.
Ah, good idea.
You see, the beverages, the sodas and all of that lot on the pool deck, nice and free.
Yeah.
So you can just go and fill it up as much as you wish.
Lovely jubbly.
Talking of a little bit of price increases, the holiday time at the Disneyland Resort Tour is up and available for booking.
Ah, is this one you've done before, Michelle?
I think I've done it nearly 3-4 times now.
Really? Wow.
I really love doing it. It's such a fantastic way to go at Christmas and to get a really Christmassy feel. I've done it a couple of times as well on Christmas Day. So that was like the cherry on the cake to be able to get it.
Yeah.
Now, when I have been, the original version, you went in Disneyland, you went over to DCA, and then I did another version where we didn't go to DCA. They do sort of they claim to reinvent it each year. Whether they do or don't, I don't really know how much they actually change.
No.
I have a sneaky feeling it's been shrunk back in time because it's only 2.5 hours now. And I could have sworn it was 4.
I must admit, when I saw that, I thought, oh, is that what it was always? Because obviously it's quite a big deal that tours are now coming back to Disneyland because they've been lacking somewhat since reopening. So, and I wasn't sure whether that was a bit shorter.
Yeah, because when you think about it, the ones I've done in the past, you normally get to ride It's a Small World.
Yeah.
You've done Jungle Cruise, as in Jingle Cruise.
Yes,
You've done Haunted Mansion. And they were the 3 staples that you'd get to ride on. You'd get a little snack somewhere along the way. We'd normally go into DCA for it. And then after you'd ridden It's a Small World, you sit out on the chairs they lay out for you. They give you a hot chocolate in a reusable mug and a Mickey gingerbread cookie. And I'm just thinking, to get all of that done in that 2.5 window is a little bit tight in my mind now. So I don't know if they've cut anything out. The price is about the same. It's $110, tax not included. That is for anyone 3 or above.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite an expensive shenanigans to do. But do you know that already some dates have sold out?
Well, I think if you're going to do a tour at Disneyland and you're there for Christmas, like you've done this one multiple times before, I think it does kind of, I mean, it would be for me that perfect mashup. I mean, I love Christmas. I'm a big softie when it comes to Christmas anyway. So anything that combines Christmas and Disney, it's a no-brainer for me, you know. So I can see that there is that element to it. I thought I'd read somewhere, and I may be wrong, Michelle, and you, I don't know, that they'd moved the snack element to sitting on a patio at Walt's apartment.
Actually going into Walt's apartment?
No, outside on the patio area or something. I wasn't sure, but that rings about. I could be wrong, guys, completely wrong, but
The only way to get to the patio of Walt's apartment is through Walt's apartment.
oh, I don't know then. Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe it's somewhere different that they've
Oh.
moved that snacky element to. I don't know.
But
Worth
that would be
looking into.
ace to be able to go
It
to
would,
Walt's
wouldn't it?
apartment at Christmas because they put the little Christmas tree
Tree,
instead
yeah.
of the hurricane lamp. Anyway, it's 60 days in advance for booking. You can't book Christmas Day yet, but if you're planning on doing so, you need to book at that 60-day limit because
Yeah.
Christmas Day does sell out. There's so many people that, like myself, who have done it every Christmas Day in the past because it's a family tradition and we love our little Disney traditions.
Yeah, I would say get your calendar out, circle the date you need to be on, and make sure you up early and get that booked.
Yeah, because it is an amazing thing to do. And we're going to be talking more about what you can do at Disney over the Christmas period. I just feel it's a shame that Walt Disney World doesn't have their equivalent.
Yeah, because I mean, they've had their tours back for quite a while, and I think I remember seeing the other week that the Living with the Land, the Seeds tour has just come back. So it would be nice, I think, that they could do a seasonal themed tour of some description.
Well, it's Disney missing out on money. Come on, guys.
True.
Get
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
sorted. What
Well,
are you up to?
with all the increases at the moment, you would have thought any chance would have been a fair chance, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Now, we have mentioned briefly about price increases, and I don't think you can mention price increases without talking about Disneyland. Their park tickets have gone up.
Yeah, I've heard on the grapevine they've gone. I don't know what the increases are though, Michelle. Do you?
I've got some, well, there's all these different tiers.
Oh, crikey,
Okay.
it's not. Yeah, this is where we need a maths degree, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To understand it all.
Because a single day for one park has 6 different tiers, dependent on the date of the year.
Goodness me.
And that ranges from $104 all the way up to $179 for admittance to one park only,
Wows.
which is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
But then you start thinking about hoppers, and the price range for a one-day park hopper is from $169 up to $244
For one day, just to
For
go in and out of
one
2
day.
parks.
And
Ouch.
we mentioned Christmas. If you're wanting to do that holiday time tour at Disneyland, you're going to have to smack down $110, tax not included, and
Plus.
then $244
Yeah.
for that one-day park hopper, because you need the hopper if you're going into DCA.
Yes, very true.
And this makes me feel a little bit worried about whether I'm going to be able to afford to do a little bit of Disneyland next year, because your multi-park tickets, a 2-day, one park is $285. That's gone up $30. Whereas a 2-day park hopper has gone to $345. So you're looking at $60 difference to be able to park hop over the 2 days. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, you're very fortunate, Michelle, because you have been to Disneyland quite a number of times and are very familiar with the parks, and therefore you can make the best bang for your buck, so to speak, because you'll know what you want to go on, where you want to go, where you want to eat, and I know how meticulous that you are with your planning. You could get that down to a fine art, and you might therefore say, well, actually, no, I'll just have single park tickets because I know what I can do. But for anybody else that's not used to the park and the resort and how the attractions are split between the 2 places, that's it. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one to choose, because say $60 difference is $60, isn't it?
It's a lot of money, and that sort of is mirrored all the way up to 3-day, 4-day, and the maximum amount you can buy at once is a 5-day park hopper at $475 opposed to $415 if it's a single park. I'm possibly thinking gone are the days where I'd go for like 10, 11, 12 days. I'm possibly going to do 2 days, one park each day, and then I'll have a day to do Downtown Disney, because gone is the time where I can go out with the park and have a leisurely lunch at Earl of Sandwich, because I need to be in the park getting my value.
Well, yeah, I think this is going to be it, isn't it? It's And I think this is probably the downside of these sorts of increases that we're seeing, whether we're talking over at Disneyland or we know there's been others that have been announced over at Disney World. Does it, or when does it start to impact your vacation time? We've talked before about the likes of the impacts of Genie Plus, where you're constantly looking at your phone. If it's going to be a military operation just to get in and out and get the things done that you want, are you actually going to be able to enjoy that time that you're there? Is it going to actually impact on your enjoyment time simply because you suddenly feel that you've got to get this like bang for your buck, so to speak, for the amount that you're laying out on those park tickets? It's a difficult price balancing point, and there's obviously economics out there that are far better at this than you or I, but I think they're kind of getting close to the wire.
And also for us over here in the UK, we've got to consider that the dollar for us is incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
So, we've got those factors to bear in mind. But guys, what do you think to these price increases? Where are you seeing it hit your pocket the most? Is it with regards to the food and beverage experience? Is it actually just getting to the park? Or is it the cost of your annual pass if you're able to buy it, or your park tickets? Please, please, please get in touch. We'd love to hear how you are finding things. But we're talking about all of this, Jane. Let's turn it round into something positive.
Okay, like positive, yeah.
We love positive.
We do.
We love positive. And I do know on the show I've spoken a little bit about the pixie dust that I enjoyed on my holiday. And I think that's what sets Disney apart from any other company that offers a theme park, because one, they have the amazing cast members.
They do.
You have the beautiful themed environments, but you do also have cast members that some of them go over and above to ensure you're having the most magical of days.
Yeah, and this is what we have to remember with all the price increases, etc., that there is something almost untangible about going to a Disney park. There is something that you can't quite put your finger on that sets it above everywhere else.
Absolutely. So some of the magic that happened to me on my trip this year, I went into the Big Top souvenirs and I wanted a slush. I wanted a glacier slush. And I got talking to the cast member, lovely lady called Lynette, and I said, look, I don't know what to get. I have no idea what flavour. I said, Lynette, I'm going to hand it over to you. Magic me up. And she did. She made a special and she'd posed for a picture, and she just made that little experience of getting that more fun. And then right next to her, there was another guy, and he was called Jess, and he was like, do you want to take some really good pictures of the food? So he put his gloves on and he held me up the cookies, this, that and the other. And I was able to get some really cool pictures of the Orange Bird cookie. And he was talking to me about how it was so amazing that the biscuit actually tasted of orange, as well as being decorated like the Orange Bird. Little things like that really do make a trip and make it more memorable.
Yeah, it's funny actually that you mentioned Big Top treats, because we had a similarly good experience and this is going back now to 2013. So New Fantasyland, as it was then, hadn't been open that long, and we were in there having a look around and looking at all the sweet treats and all the merch and everything. And Simon happened to get talking to one of the cast members and complimented them on their uniform, because how in keeping it is with the whole vibe that goes on there. And we struck up a conversation, and I got introduced and the kids got introduced and was chatting away like we're old friends sort of thing. Next thing we know, we all come out with free marshmallows.
Aww.
And it just because of a little conversation that you had. And I think it pays to pay into a conversation, because if you can put yourself in the cast member's position and give them a bit of love by just smiling at them and talking to them and complimenting them or whatever it may well be, then that love and that magic tends to get paid back. And I think it can work in other places as well, but I think it's more so in Disney than anywhere else.
No, completely agree. It's the old adage, isn't it? You catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar.
Absolutely. And especially in the times that we're in at the moment, I'm a big believer in, I go out on my morning walks and I always say hello to people. If they don't want to say hello back to me, that's their issue, not mine. But I will always try and smile, say hello, and I think it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? If you're in a theme park, that cast member, you don't know what the last person they served was like. So if you can be smiley and jolly with them, it might turn their day around as much as they could turn your day around.
Yeah, completely agree. Over in Animal Kingdom, I went to go and get some pot stickers from one of the little stalls, the little kiosks. And David he'd ordered his, he'd got into the queue waiting for his. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll have a serving, please. I'll give him a go. I've never tried them. I'm a bit of a fan of all of this type of food. And I went to put my little card on the scanning machine to pay for them. And she said, oh, no, it's going to be a couple of minutes wait. So because of that, I'll let you have them for free.
How cool.
I know. And then I got a free citrus swirl.
No.
Did.
No. So jealous.
It was the first Halloween party I went to, and I was wearing my orange bird outfit, which I must admit, even I say so myself, I look pretty awesome. It was really cool. And I had lots of people compliment me and say, oh, what a cool outfit. And I went to pay again after ordering my citrus swirl, and she said, dressed like that? Nah, it's on the house. So you can still find that little bit of Disney magic. And sometimes it's not about getting free stuff. Sometimes it's just about that little towel animal that's left on your bed, somebody opening the door for you, somebody saying, oh, I love that outfit, or I love your earrings. Just something to make you feel warm and fuzzy.
Well, I want to use the phrase going the extra mile, but it's not going the extra mile. It's going the extra couple of feet, isn't it? If you know what I mean. It's just taking that time to acknowledge and smile. And then if the magic can be a little bit bigger, then great. We're not going looking for it. We're not expecting to get freebies or treats or whatever. We just want a really nice experience. And that's what Disney has always promoted and prided itself on. I just hope they keep that going.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving away from all of that, we have on the day of release, which is the 16th of October, we have a birthday, but this birthday is a bit bittersweet because the wonderful, beautiful Angela Lansbury didn't get to make it to her birthday. She passed away earlier this week.
Yeah, passed away at 96. It was so I was going to say funny, but it's not funny is not the right word. Literally, I was looking for the podcast for bits and bobs of history, and I said, oh, look, Angela Lansbury, 96. What a fantastic innings. It's her birthday. She'll be 97. And I'm chatting away to Simon because, the internet is a wonderful place to go and find out information. And I couldn't believe it. Then literally a couple of hours later, I saw something on good old Facebook and I thought, no, somebody's just wrote something that implies, no, it can't be. And yeah, bless her, she passed away. But I urge anybody to go and have a look on, the Wikipedias of this world or wherever, and read up about her and how she became an actress and the connections in her family. I was kind of, and this is before I knew that she'd passed, was kind of gobsmacked. I hadn't realised just how extensive and long-running her career had been, because we all kind of think of her for Murder, She Wrote, and we know she was Mrs. Potts, and we know that she was in Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and we love those roles, and they're iconic roles. But I think if you go back and look and see how young she was actually when she started out, and how she had to have a social worker with her when she did her very first film, for which she actually got, for her very first film, she got nominated for an Academy Award. So that's not bad going, is it?
I know. You look at the list of films that she's been in, and it's like, oh my God, she was in that film. She was in that film. What an extensive, absolutely stunning career. She's been in Agatha Christie's as Miss Marple. She's done a bit of that. She's done a little bit of something I never realised that she was in. That she was in National Velvet as well, alongside Elizabeth Taylor. And oh my word, you look at the pictures of her earlier on in her career. What a figure and what a face. And she's obviously looked after herself. Even at 96, she was a stunner.
Yeah, now there was a quote that I found about her because she often said that she kind of got given all of the older roles for her age. So she often found herself playing somebody who was much older than what she actually was in real life. And there was a quote here that said, because you've got to remember, we're going back to a time when film studios signed actors and actresses up and you were tied into a film studio. And I found all this era absolutely fascinating. I used to remember watching the old black and white movies. That was my thing on a Saturday afternoon when I was growing up. And she was contracted into MGM. And there's a quote that says, "I don't think I was quite hot enough in the looks department. Quite frankly, I was all talent and no looks." Bless her. You know, how, that's just, and she wasn't. She was a good-looking girl. It was like, but to say that about herself at that age as well, that's kind of, astounding, really. But yeah, I mean, there's the film catalogue. I mean, crikey, I think if you go onto IMDb, you're going to be there for a long while going back, looking over the list of films, and of course stage as well that she was involved with. So, and a dame.
Absolutely. A life well lived is what I would like to say. And I imagine with her family and friends, she will be incredibly missed.
Absolutely. And you say 96, good on you, girl, for getting there and keeping your all about you. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I think we'll tie up this week's show, Jane.
Okay.
If you want more from us, additional shows, find us at patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. We post over on Instagram and Twitter at Dis Dream Girls. We have our Disney Podcast family page where you can find us by looking for the Disney Dream Girls. Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes or whatever platform you listen to. But until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.